Hey, welcome back to the site. I'm Trent, and if you're new, thanks for stopping. And if you're a subscriber, thank you very much. So today we're going to tie the Klinkhamer. So the Klinkhamer was a fly. It's an emerger fly, a caddis emerging fly that was developed by Hans van Klinken in the early 80s. I've been fortunate to watch Hans tie this fly. It's not that difficult of a fly to tie. I think a lot of people want to add to it and make it seem a little bit more difficult than it actually is. So sit back, enjoy yourself, and let's get into the tie. All right, I went ahead and put the hook into the vise, and for the hook, I'm just using a partridge size 10 Klinkhamer. So, and for the thread, I'm just going to use some black 70 denier. So I'm just going to, I'm going to start right here because this is going to be the point where I'm going to want that. I'm going to tie in the wing post. So we're just going to put in some thread, a little bit of a thread base, and then clip that excess off free. So for the wing post on this, I'm just using some Zelon, some white Zelon. Now I have tied this fly, and I've used red Zelon, and I've used pink or red Zelon and black Zelon, just because it seemed to help me see the fly better. So this is how Hans ties this fly. First thing he does is he goes ahead and puts in that wing post. So I'm just taking some curved scissors. I'm going to cut that Zelon off, and those curved scissors will just help with the taper of the body. We'll just give a couple more wraps, and then I'm just going to wrap around this Zelon like so. And I watch people. I know that there's a tool out there that you can buy that holds that material up for you. I'm just going to tell you, you don't need that. Just slow down, take your time, and just wrap yourself a nice little post with the thread on your Zelon. The more wraps you put in, the more it's going to want to stand up for you and stiffen. So, just a few of those wraps. Once you get that done, I like to just build up a little bit of a bump in the front, and then we can just take this back. Now I take this body way down into the bend of the hook, because you have to imagine when you're fishing this, if this is the water level right here, where those hackle fibers are going to be. So all of that material under there, right, is going to be under the surface film, what the fish is seeing. And you give them as much give them a good look for the food. So that's why I like to go down deeper. I'm just putting on a little bit of dubbing wax. Sometimes with this this material, it needs a little bit of grip. So, and then the synthetic thread too tends to be pretty slick. So I'm just using some, and this is actually the fly right, which strangely enough I actually had in my fly tying kit, but it is the exact same stuff that Hans used in the demonstration I watched, which kind of made me feel good about myself that he and I are using the same materials. So I didn't go all the way up to the edge when I dubbed that. So now we'll just come around. And all I'm doing is just dubbing in this body, but I want it to have a decent taper as it moves up the shank of the hook. Occasionally you'll just need to stop and retwist your dubbing. Not a big deal. So what happened with Hans, so he showed up at the lake where he fishes, or the stream that he fishes rather, and one of his fishing partners had been there and not had really much luck. And he told Hans that the fish were there and they were feeding, but they wouldn't take anything on the surface. So Hans kind of correctly figured they were feeding on emergers. So he came up with this Klinkhamer there where he was fishing. So that is it's kind of the beginning of this fly, right? Just clip off some of those loose pieces. All right. So for the hackle, I'm just using, it's just a nice brown cape I've got here. So I pop a feather off, make sure it's going to fit for size. And this is a size 10 hook, so I want my hackle to be roughly, in line with a size 10. So I know a lot of people don't get into that when they're doing the parachute style. They don't tend to worry too much about if their hackles are sized properly, but as good practice for tying, you should get them to be the right size. So went ahead and prepped this feather and stripped the quill so I could tie it in. And then what I like to do on all parachute styles is I tie them in all the way to the top, and then I tie it all the way back down to the bottom. That way, when I'm tying in my feather, it'll start at the top of my post and I can just work down. Alright, next step, we're going to go ahead and tie in the peacock thorax for this caddisfly. So if you've tied the caddis nymph before, this should look very familiar to you. Just kind of a brown body, or whatever color body your caddis are in your area. Where I live in the Midwest, we have a lot of brown and green caddis, so I tend to use those two colors. So I got my body, and then we'll just take a couple of these wraps of peacock forward and aft of the wing post and tie it off. Come a little forward. Just come in and clip that. Okay, the last thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and put in our wing post. And we're just going to wrap that around. Whoops. Little fat fingers let go of it. Now I know a lot of folks will they might use an oversized hackle on this step because they like to use the Klinkhamer in like a hopper dropper system. And if that's your plan, you can always make your adjustment. So now I'm just going to bring this forward right up to where the eye is. Bend that back a little bit. And just clip off all that excess there. And once I get the those little fibers there, then we can just come in and whip finish. So 1, 2, 3 turns. That's done. And we just straighten up our post to where we want it. There we go. So there is the finished Klinkhamer. I just tied it for you. It's a pretty straightforward tie. It's not too terribly difficult. If you have any questions or comments, please drop them below. I'd love to hear from you. And if you like this fly and this type of fly tying, go ahead and hit that like, subscribe. I'd appreciate it. And until next time, I'll see you around the vise.